everybody, it's Micah from Sapulpa Times.
And Lucy with the City of Sapulpa.
Welcome back, welcome back. We're getting to back in the office here. We got two people in the chair. It's going good. Uh,
It's been a while.
yeah, well, I mean, you doing normal things. Um, and the one that we tried, I mean, we tried on Friday. It did not go good. I'm sorry. We were trying to go live at the park there, and the microphones weren't working because my phone doesn't. Uh, the port on it is broken now.
Yeah,
So I guess a
dang.
phone upgrade is in my future. But and
Mine
it was
too.
windy. But it was a great time.
It was. It was so good. It was so much fun. It was a great turnout.
It was. Yeah. And I don't want you to say too much about that because we are going to talk about that.
Okay.
But first, you were just telling me seconds before we went live about you went to this hockey game. What happened at the hockey game, Luce?
Yes. So it was Sunday Family Fun Day. And so we went to the Oilers hockey game. And it just so happened that it was also Pucks and Pups.
Pucks and pups.
Pucks and Pups. And so everyone got to bring their dog
To the hockey
to
game?
the hockey game.
That's weird. I would never think that like a hockey rink would be a place you could bring a dog. Um,
It was really cool. They also did dog races on the ice,
Did they?
and they had some little weenie dogs. It was so cute.
Did they slip and fall?
No!
Really?
So they had the like owner on one side, and then they let the dogs go on the other side,
Mhm.
and they were just like running around in circles at first and like staying on the side they were on. And then the little wiener dog, he saw his owner, and he just, as soon as he spotted him, he just darted. It was so cute.
So the Winnie dog won the race?
Hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Were there any huskies or anything that were out there like, yeah, this is my jam. I like it out here. It's cold.
There was like a little Australian Shepherd. They didn't take any big dogs down there.
Okay.
Um, but it was really cute.
That's cool.
Hmm.
Man, you had a pretty eventful
Oh,
weekend.
and then they played musical chairs with the dogs, and there was some huskies.
How do you do that?
And so they had the dogs and their owners walk around the big circle in the middle, and then when the music went off, their dog had to sit. And so the last dog to sit was out. It was really cute too.
And the owners had to be like, sit.
Yeah.
Something there to tell us
So
to
like as
sit.
soon as the music went off, they had to tell the dog would sit.
Okay.
It was really fun.
Who won that one? Did the
That
Winnie
was a
dog?
husky.
A husky won
Yeah,
that one.
he won that one, and maybe it was a girl. I'm not sure. But the husky won because the owner had her dog trained to where when she would raise her hand up with a treat, it would sit immediately.
Ooh,
So as soon as the music went off, she didn't have to say anything. She just pulled a treat out.
nice.
Mhm.
Man,
It
that's a
was
good
fun.
dog right there.
Yeah.
That's wow. Yeah, you had a lot of stuff going on. And then you went to the races you were telling me earlier.
Yeah, we went to the races, dirt track races out in Salina on Saturday night.
So she was just road tripping. She wasn't even,
I did.
I mean, in addition to all the stuff she did here in town.
Mhm.
So that was cool. It's good. I'm glad you had a good time.
It was a great weekend.
It was. It was. For some of us. I'll talk about that in a minute. Let's start off with the thing that I've been looking forward to this since last year
Hmm.
when we announced that it was going to happen. It was oh, that's the wrong photo. Hold on, let me turn on the. There we go. We had the opening of the Route 66 Park,
Hmm.
which had a great turnout,
Hmm.
I thought, and that's where we tried to do the live there. It did not go well. It's
No,
fine. But
it's all right.
points for trying, I guess. So I liked it so much that I went back out there later that day
Mhm.
with my wife, and it's a good time.
Yeah, there was a lot of things that, like, as we were walking through the construction and like doing our walkthroughs and all that stuff, it was so cool then. But then to actually go back yesterday and walk through and not be like looking for things that were unfinished or
Yeah.
like,
And I should be able to enjoy it. Yeah.
yeah, it was very cool. I did learn, which we announced at the um ribbon cutting, is that if you stand in the middle of the gazebo, it's like the center of the universe in Tulsa.
Did you? So we tried that out. I didn't get that effect. Did you?
Yes.
So, and the idea is that you can shout into the void and it will like, you'll hear
Yeah.
yourself, I guess.
Yeah. So it was not done intentionally.
Oh, was it?
No,
I thought it was. Okay.
it was not done intentionally or anything like that. So Susan and I were walking around just kind of looking, and when we walked to the middle, we were talking and we were like, "Oh my gosh." So then,
So you found out by accident
yes.
then. Okay.
Yeah, it
Was it
was
also
pretty
one of those things like, well, we better be careful what we say here because uh, no secrets under this canopy.
right.
Um, so yeah, we didn't. have that happen. I did hear from Mark Lawson because I saw him later
Hmm.
that morning. He said within less than an hour of the place being open, there was a couple there from upstate New York that were traveling Route 66 that just happened to make a stop there to see what it was all about. And so he got to say, well, this is our, bridge number 18 and our new park and everything. And you're literally like the first out of towners to be here. So
That's
yeah, that
awesome.
was awesome. I thought it was great. And speaking of Mark, well, so we had Lieutenant Governor Matt Pinnell, which if that guy doesn't like move to Sapulpa, I mean, he'll be here every other day when he's done with his term. I think he's got to be like our best doesn't live here supporter, right? That doesn't actually live in Sapulpa. He is such a fan of Sapulpa that he won't even call it Sapulpa, Oklahoma. He calls it Sapulpa, America,
Yeah.
like that. We are our own like nation within a nation or something.
Mhm.
But the other cool thing about that was the announcement that they made that they were naming the post park after Mark Lawson because I mean, if you're not aware, it's basically his fault that that we get all this stuff because I think he was the one who fought for the Route 66 Centennial Commission and everything in the
Mhm.
first place,
Mhm.
and for them to allocate a certain amount of well, $6.6 million per year, right?
Mhm.
And so that's why we got the park, and then that's why all these other Route 66 projects that are happening across the state. It's thanks to Mark. So they named the post park after him,
Mhm.
and they attached a sign, and it was the first sign to go in the post park. And so explain to people like what this actually is, because I think it's going to be until it gets filled up, and people are going to be wondering like why is there a bunch of half height telephone
Mhm.
poles in this park?
Yeah, so it's a vision we're trying to bring it to life. So if you travel Route 66, you will see that there's a lot of different opportunities for you to leave your mark in these different places. And so that was kind of the first heart behind the Signpost Park, and then it just continued to grow. And so we are encouraging you and visitors and anyone around to come out and nail a sign to one of those posts, whether it's a license plate number or a license plate tag that you and your family have signed, or, if you're from Germany and you have a sign that says Germany and how far that is, like to sign that and leave it there. And so we are working on currently, we are going to go ahead and put some different signs out there. Some are blank, some may be different countries, some may be different states. And so if you're traveling, you can stop and actually sign the post. Because if you're from Germany and you're just traveling the route, you've never been here. I know they do a lot of research, but they may not know to stop and get a sign that says Germany to go out there. So we want to make sure they have the opportunity to still leave their mark on our park. Now, if you're local or you're planning your trip and you want to bring a sign, yes. If you want to come to Sapulpa and get a sign, right now we are directing everyone towards Gasoline Alley. And so, if other stores and other shops come up with a sign that they would like to sell, we are definitely on board to look at those and kind of go from there and help promote those signs as well. But Gasoline Alley, Michael Jones down there, he has designed some different shaped arrows and other signs and crazy colors and things like that we will put out there for the time being, and then signs that the community can customize as well. So we're going to fill all those posts up with arrows and signs and license plates, and all those things to kind of commemorate travelers visiting Sapulpa.
Cool. I'm really glad you guys are doing that. I think it's neat that it's an interactive kind of
Mhm.
thing, and that people have their own ability to leave their mark on the town. I think that's what separates some of these parks. I think probably the most famous one is the Cadillac Ranch out
Mhm.
in is it Amarillo, I
Mhm.
think. And I did not know this, but they will occasionally go over there and like paint over everything, and so you can start fresh. And so I don't know if that maybe we'll have so many signs that we have to take them down or something and start clean, but that won't happen for a while. But
Mhm.
I think it's really cool that now you've got your own
Mhm.
spot on Route 66, like which we did. I mean, I signed the sign. Did you sign an arrow?
Of course.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Now, we did have those little arrows that everyone could sign. We're gonna put those in a picture frame, and
Okay.
they will actually be framed at City Hall. So, if we were to put them out there, they would weather and things like that.
Yeah,
But
they're like Balsic wood or
right,
something.
so we want to keep those to like commemorate. the 10th. But we're also having conversations like what happens when these signs get out there and they get very weathered or it is completely full. What do we do? So we don't really have a plan yet. We're just
Got
gonna
to
kind of see
deal
what
with it when it
happens.
comes. Yeah. Um, Cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah.
Because it's a park about a bridge, guys. Also, the mayor made mention of the 250 new Route 66 coins that are
Hmm.
being made available now. The first one was given to Lieutenant Governor Matt Pinnell.
Hmm.
And so, I forgot to ask you about talking about this, but what do you know about that coin? Can anybody get one? How do we get one of those?
No. So we only ordered 250 of them. If you would have told me, I would have brought them so we
Oh,
could
yeah,
show
my
them.
fault.
But the backside of them, it shows icons on in Sapulpa. So we have the bridge, we have the gas pump, we have a there's like a little Camaro on it.
Ooh,
There's a buffalo on it,
okay.
and things like that. And then on the front, there's actually a Route 66 shield, and then our city logo is on that as well. And really cool, the Route 66 shield glows in the dark.
Oh,
So, they are very awesome.
yeah.
They are not just for anyone. And so they are for those that come to Sapulpa, they leave a mark on Sapulpa. I don't know the whole background of a challenge coin, but like you earn it.
Okay.
And then,
But we don't know how to earn it yet?
well, I don't really know. So
Okay.
Matt Pinnell has one, our council has one. Each of the council was given one. And so you got to do something good.
Okay. I'm gonna earn one of those coins, guys.
And just like being a part of Sapulpa and contributing to the community and things like that. So,
Okay. I guess I'll have to step up my community contributions. Uh, by the way, that trophy I have right there is
yeah.
literally a trophy for that.
We did
But
get an email like Friday within hours of Pinnell getting his coin. It was like, hey, can I buy one of those?
yeah, people want to buy them, I'm sure.
So,
No, that's actually kind of cool.
hmm.
If you have to earn one,
Hmm.
I think it's going to be more special to you
Hmm.
than if you bought one.
Yeah.
And maybe like after you give out the first 250 or something, if the demand is great,
No,
maybe never going to happen,
never.
huh?
There will
Never.
never be any more of what was made.
Okay. I mean, not the possibility of a new design or something that then you can buy.
Right. We could do a new one, maybe. I don't know. We've discussed that,
Okay.
and then having them, but the the whole like I don't want to say history, but like the thing around a challenge coin is that like once you get it, no one else can get it
Yeah, the
once you run
significance
out.
of it. Yeah.
So
I
there's only 250, and
okay.
there will only be 250.
All right. All
If
right.
it makes me feel any better, I helped design them, and I am the keeper of the coins, and I don't even have a coin.
I mean, what you have as a goal, I think, right there by the
Yeah.
end of this deal. Now, coin number 66 is going to be a special one, I think,
Yeah.
right? Aren't they giving that out as part of the Great Route 66 giveaway or something, or is that something
I
else?
don't know.
Okay.
We still have it. It's in a little box.
Oh, is it?
It's being kept very sacred.
Okay. All right.
And we have some ideas, but we just haven't nailed it down.
Okay, still conversations that are happening then. All right, so you guys know about the coin. As soon as we can find like some sort of like checklist
Mm,
or something, but I guess if it's about contribution to Sapulpa, we've got a lot of volunteers and stuff, opportunities that are coming up
mhm,
with Christmas shoot and all the Rascals on Route 66 race that's happening in July. So maybe something like that. You could earn your way to a coin that way. So, okay, cool. Thanks for that. That was kind of a rabbit trail we went down there. But the other thing I wanted to bring up that after the Route 66 park, I went over to the Creek County Courthouse. And if you're not familiar with this, they did a pinwheel ceremony. And I think you was gonna be there, and then you ended up having lunch with Matt Pinnell, and so had to miss the pinwheel ceremony. But if you're not familiar with this, it's a really cool thing that they've been doing for several years now. I know it's been because I've covered it for that long. But it's the court-appointed state advocates and some of the other, like youth services of Creek County is involved. And what it does is it is a pinwheel ceremony of sorts that it's a pinball for every kid in Creek County that is in the foster care system.
mhm.
And this year it is lower than what it was last year.
That's awesome.
And so it's 104, I think, maybe 105, 104, I think, number of kids in the foster care system, which is great because it's a lower number.
Mhm.
But the sad part of that is 56 of those kids had to be placed out of Creek County in foster care because we just don't have the foster parents available. So if this is something that is on your heart and maybe something you've been considering doing, I would highly recommend reaching out to Youth Services of Creek County or the CASA program and seeing what you could do about getting involved with that, because that's something they always need. You know, they always need foster parents for certain age groups. A lot of foster parents, they really love the idea of having a baby or having, you know, small children or something, and a lot of times your teenagers kind of get left out in that. And so they have a whole program around them. But anyway, if this is something you're interested in being a part of, be sure to reach out to them. It was great. We heard from Judge Laura Ferris, which we always do. She was in the middle of court, put it on hold to come out and do a little talk and give a speech about this, and then went back up and finished her hearing that she was doing. And then, of course, Mark Lawson was there, Todd Gallagher was there, both of whom have been extremely active in the legislation with passing legislation to help care for our children and protect them, and lots of stories that we've written in the past about all that. So it was great for them to be there. Um, I am thrilled with how small this group of Pinwheels looks. I had to ask. I was like, "Is that all of them?" Because it doesn't seem like it's all of them. Because I've
Mhm.
been out there where that lawn was covered, and it wasn't the case this time. It was really good. It was such a good crowd that showed up. And anyway, it's a great ceremony, just a really great thing to be a part of. So again, if that's something you're interested in, be sure to go out and get signed up for that because they do need the help. So the other thing, and I didn't see you there. I don't guess you got to go to the kite festival, did you?
No.
Okay, that was what, were you in Salina at the time, probably?
Well, I took a shower and I got ready and had to eat dinner.
Okay.
So,
Well, it was like at like 2 to 5. It wasn't even a super long event,
right.
but the weather was good for it. I mean, you want some wind with some kites, and it was fun. We had a good turnout. This picture doesn't really do it justice because there were also a lot of people behind me,
Hmm.
but there were tons and tons of kites out there, and it was great. And they invited the Tulsa Wind Riders out. We had one of them had like this giant kite that's as big as a building that looked like a ghost. It was creepy.
That's awesome though.
Yeah. It was kind of
Did
like,
they, excuse me, did they have the dragon this year?
they did not have the dragon. They've
Okay.
had that before. And maybe they had it later after I left. But what I was also really impressed with is, of course, the Parks Department had a bunch of kites for people to make, but people also went out and bought a bunch of like really cool kites. And so we had these ones that look like butterflies and stuff that would actually like when the wind would catch it, it would look like they're
Uh-huh.
flapping their wings and stuff. It was really cool. And then I borrowed a kite and took it up and it did not go well. And I honestly, I was so proud of myself. I was having a good time with this kite. And I borrowed it from Elizabeth Nicholas, our city councilor. And she just said, "Here, use our kite. We got an extra kite." And it had good string. It wasn't like that wimpy string, you know. And it had like a fish hook looking thing to actually like tie the thing onto the kite. And the kite was really good material. And I am up there, and I got that kite up immediately. Didn't have any problem with it. And then all these other people were like struggling with their kites, and my kite is doing so well. And I'm just loving it. And then we did have this one guy, this kid who came over next to me, kind of. He got his kite up finally, and we were just a little bit too close. He crossed strings with me, and then his kite all of a sudden caught the wind and starts going "Wah!" like around my string, right? And so this is what was so cool. Didn't even have to bring my kite down. We just like adjusted some things, and he moved over a little bit. The wind caught it the other way and unwound it, and so saved the day there. And then I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to move over here because to try and keep that from happening again. And then this is what happened. I have a video for you to see here. So if you haven't already seen this.
Let's go fly a kite.
We got all the other kites up there in the air. And so this is before I borrowed a kite. And lots of kids having a great time. It was a lot of fun. And then I decided to borrow a kite. And I'm trying to fly the kite at the same time I'm trying to film this video. And so it looks like I'm having a rough time. It was actually going really well, believe it or not. until I like when I tried to move, that kite ended up in a tree, and it was awful. The tree was covered in poison ivy. I, I couldn't even go climb it to go get it, but so Elizabeth lost her kite. I feel really bad. I'm so sorry. I offered to pay him for it, and they're like, "Nah, don't worry about it." It's like I said, that looks like an expensive kite, man, because I know people who have spent like Jordan Asensio had like a $200 kite that she is afraid to assemble. They didn't even bring it out to the kite festival because she's like, I am scared that I'm going to get it up there and we're going to lose it. And that wasn't it. This was like a $12 kite, which was still, I mean, it was more expensive than the free ones they were giving out. I feel a little bit better that it wasn't like $100 kite, but I mean, I did feel really bad. And I tried a bunch of different things to get it out. I tried to bribe my son into climbing the tree to go get it. And he started to and immediately got scared and he's like, nope, not doing this. And my other son is also allergic to poison ivy, so he wasn't doing it. You know what? He says he's allergic, but I don't think I've ever seen him with poison ivy. I think he just says that so he won't go places. But anyway, so
That's awesome.
that was the bulk of our weekend there. So um, hopefully you made it out to the kite festival. It was a great time. We didn't have it last year. You might
Mm-mm.
remember it got rained out. And so it was a lot of fun. So I think maybe we should try to make that a semi-annual thing or something. More than once a year just didn't seem enough.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of trees out there that need kites. And I felt like a Charlie Brown kind of guy. I mean, I was so proud of myself too. It was such a letdown, and it wasn't even my kite. So, anyway, guys, that was the weekend. I hope yours was good. This week looks like it's going to be raining a lot, and so be ready for the rain showers. And we might have some severe weather coming up over the next couple of days. So, stay tuned to Sapulpa Times. We'll keep you in the loop on that. But we do have one thing we need to remind you guys about, and I'm going to let Lucy do some talking here. Talk about don't they?
Yeah, so Saturday we have the citywide cleanup. Do not forget to go to City Hall to the utility office and get your voucher. You do have to have that. That's so that we know how many trash cans or dumpsters to have delivered. And so it is important that you have one because we don't want you to show up and then the dumpsters be full. So
That'd be bad.
this will be Saturday from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you don't know where it is, I don't remember the address right now, but it is off Highway 66 on the right-hand side. If you go to the Old Freddy's, which is now the Paria's Grill, take a right, drive all the way back, you will find them. You'll probably also see the line when you
Line
get to Highway
cars. Yeah.
66.
Yeah.
And so just head back there. You can bring, if you bring a mattress, it'll have a certain area to be dropped off in. They do take trees and debris. And then all the other stuff that you need to get rid of. So this is your opportunity to clean out your attic, clean out your spare room, the junk drawers, all the things, your garage, the shed in the backyard. Get rid of it, take it to dump day. And yeah, if you need any help with that, if you are older or you do not have a truck, and you have no one to help you, you can call the Elks Lodge. They do have a team that they'll put together. They will come out and help you with that. Um, I think that's it.
Okay, I noticed on here it does say no tires, televisions, computer monitors, no combustible engines, paint or liquids, and no construction materials. However, it doesn't say anything about skeletal remains.
Well, if you show up with some skeletal remains, you will definitely be getting a visit by the police department.
Well, what if, so the Elks often help out with moving if you're unable to do, so I mean, would the Elks be willing to help move
Definitely
a
not.
body?
Definitely not. I am not an elk, so I would just say no, even though I'm not
You're
an
not
elk.
an elk.
Yeah,
With no authority there. Okay.
I speak with no authority, but I'm pretty sure if Mark Stevens shows up to help you move your stuff and there's a skeleton,
Hmm.
it's staying.
Okay. I'm gonna say part of me wants to go get like one of those science skeletons or whatever just to see what happens here. And have it sitting on like that old couch
You'll be
or
banned.
something.
You will be banned from
I
that
mean, I'll
day.
probably have it coming, but I don't know. Sorry, guys, if I'm giving anybody terrible ideas right now. And I do apologize to all the crew that has to help with the unloading and everything else. this will probably be the last time I'm allowed to promote this event. So anyway, I'll probably be there. It's like every year I find stuff that we got to get rid of. So I need to go get my voucher. As a matter of fact, I don't have one yet. And so, can people pick them up all through the rest of the week? Is there a
Yes.
limit on them? Like on vouchers? There's a certain amount of vouchers or anything? I
And
think it's as long as you have a
as long as you have a utility bill in good standing, you can have a voucher.
good. Okay,
Yep.
good deal. All right. So I need to make sure my water bill's paid. But other than that, I should be good to go.
There you go.
Awesome. So, okay. Now by Saturday, the weather should have cleared up,
Hmm.
and so it should be a great day for a dump day on Saturday. So
It might even be a little bit cool.
I think it's gonna be very cool, especially if there's a skeleton out there. That'd be really cool.
Like the weather. I think it's going to be like in the
Okay.
60s.
Oh yeah, maybe so.
So then you won't be like dying
Yeah.
trying to load your car.
Unless you're a skeleton, then you will have already died. You keep giving me opportunities here. I'm just taking them. This is great. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning into the Time Loop Live. We'll see you again on Wednesday where we talk about more things happening in the town that we love, more stuff and events that are happening the following weekend. It's going to be good. We're getting into the thick of it here. Lots of tourists and stuff coming down Route 66, so it's going to be awesome. We'll see you guys again on Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.